Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. In today's video we're going to look at getting started with the cities of Sigmar in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, using the faction Spearhead box set as a starting point for our force. Today's video is sponsored by Gap Games, a fantastic miniature wargaming store in Queensland, Australia. They stock a wide variety of miniature wargames from all things Games Workshop to some of my personal favourites, Conquest of the Last Argument of Kings, and all things Modifius wargames as well. Use our affiliate code in the link below to help support both this fantastic store and the channel as well. Leading the box set is a Free Guild Cavalier Marshal, a 7 health, 3+ save hero with a 10-inch move and a control score of 2. The model does have a short range shooting attack with its Dragoon pistol, but really it's about his abilities, not his combat profile or pistol or anything like that why you're taking him. For Sigmar, Charge is a passive ability where you get to add one to the charge rolls for friendly Free Guild Cavalier units wholly within 12 inch of this unit, and Run Down the Foe is an ability you can use once per battle for your army and during any combat phase, where if it charged, any friendly Cities of Sigmar human cavalry unit that charged this turn is wholly within 12 inch of this unit as well will gain strikes first for the rest of the turn, allowing you to charge your cavalry in and then get a bunch of them to strike before the enemy. Speaking of Free Guild Cavaliers, a cavalry option for you, 3 health and a 3+ save, makes them one of the more survivable units in your Cities of Sigmar force. Their cavalier weapons have 3 attacks each, hitting and wounding on 4s as it is always with humans, and charge +1 damage there, allowing them to go to Ren 1 damage 2 on that charge. They've got a few extra attacks in there as well from the Warhorse's Steel Shod Hooves, and their devastating charge ability allows them to inflict mortal damage onto the enemy unit they charge as well. They can take a standard bearer in the unit as well, in addition to a champion, allowing them to get that little bit of objective control as well. We then have another Free Guild unit in the Free Guild Steelhelms. These are your base infantry for the army. 1 health each, a 4+ save, and the unit's model for the musician and standard bearer is actually the same thing, so this is going to give you some extra ability on your movement, but also that extra point of control. They have Free Guild weapons, which are just a sort of basic human attack profile, 2 attacks, 4s and 4s, no rend, damage 1. Now, other than that, they've got the Consecrate the Land ability, where once per turn during your movement phase, you can, if this unit's contesting an objective you control, roll a dice on a 3+, you'll consecrate the objective, and you actually get a ward save for all your city's units that are on those consecrated objectives. However, units become unconsecrated if your opponent ever gains control of them. Lastly, we have the Ironworld Great Cannon. It's going to provide you with some longer range shooting. A 24-inch range shooting attack is actually pretty far range in Warhammer Age of Sigmar. It's got D3+2 damage with Ren 2 at this range, and it can also fire a Grape Shot for a lot of damage 2 attacks at a shorter range. The passive ability Shot and Shell is just this. It allows you to pick which one of those 2 shooting profiles you want to use, and Fortified Position as well means that this unit can actually establish a fortified position and remain in such a thing unless it moves, and what this will do is subtract 1 from the Ren characteristic of weapons that are targeting them as well. Now, where to go next? The first thing we're going to look at is a Fusel Major on Ogre Warhulk. Cities have a lot of abilities that are required for you to have characters to initiate the orders, so getting extra characters into your force is incredibly important, and you can do this without increasing your drops in some ways, like with the Fusel Major on Ogre Warhulk, who's able to be taken in other characters' regiments. It does have a nice long Fusel, which is a very long range shooting attack at damage 2 with crit auto wound and the anti-hero +1 rend ability. Now, Mark targets is an ability where it can shoot a unit and actually give +1 to hit for all your Cities of Sigmar human units that target that same unit for the rest of the turn. And Fortified Position, much like the Ironworld Great Cannon, allows you to not move but gain the ability of subtracting 1 from rend from incoming attacks. And so another hero that will have to start creating a new regiment for within the force is the Battle Mage. Magic is going to be something you want to take in your force. You're going to have access to it freely, with manifestations being free in Warhammer Age of Sigmar and stuff like that. So why not take a wizard? And what this does with its ability is Magic of the Realms. You can pick a spell ability that this unit can use, and for the rest of the battle you can actually gain +1 to cast. So if there's a spell you think you're going to be casting nearly every turn that's the most useful one, you get +1 to cast that, which is really nice. Other than that, there's not too much about a battle mage really. It's got your standard sort of wizard attack profile, it's got 5 health, a 6+ save, movement 5, it's a human unit, so if it ever gets in combat with the unit your Fusel Major on Ogre Warhawk shot, it would get the bonus as well. I guess that's something. And lastly, we have the Free Guild Fusiliers. These are your ranged troop for the Free Guild force. They have the option of either staying still and having a longer range fortified position attack, or they can be mobile, where they'll get less attacks, but they do gain shoot in combat. Now, they can choose to do these attacks in whichever way they want, which is really cool. The fortified position, where it establishes it, can remain if it uses a move ability or is removed from the battlefield, but while this unit's in fortified position, it gains that obvious -1 rend. But they also have a Black Powder Squire there as well, which allows you to later in the game actually get rerolls. Really good if the unit's taken a couple of casualties, making more out of the shots you would have left in the unit at that point in the game. And so our force today is going to be the cities of Sigmar. Now, we have gone for taking the Collegiate Expedition as our special battle formation. This just gives us a +1 to cast for our wizards. I think this is pretty good because it does mean we are going to get at times +2 to cast with our battle mage. And so our first regiment for the force is going to be led by our Free Guild Cavalier Marshal, who's our general, and has taken the artifact of power, the Sacred Tome, which actually turns him into a priest, gives us access to all the prayers. For units, we have our Free Guild Cavaliers, Free Guild Steelhelms unit that we've reinforced, Ironworld Great Cannon, and a Fusel Major on Ogre Warhawk with a Master of Ballistics, which when this model uses the all-out attack command with friendly units nearby, actually gives a +1 to their wound rolls as well. Regiment 2 is pretty simple. We then have our Battle Mage leading it, and the unit in here is our Free Guild Fusiliers. We hope this video was helpful in getting you started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, and it was able to give you some ideas and inspiration to start your own force in the game. If you have any other questions at all, please comment down below, and while you're there, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, and join our Discord server to check out all our future Warhammer Age of Sigmar content.